Retro Talk Forum.
Come on through. Let's talk kicks. Let's talk 80s and 90s nostalgia, man.
Yo.
Hello.
We are back. What is this? Episode 92? Hey man, we getting 8 away from 100, man.
Seems like it's taking forever to get there.
Man, look. 2019 to now?
Yeah,
man. Hey, and you know, sometimes what they say, man, life be lifing, bro. So
yeah, but we try to put out quality product.
yeah. I think
quality.
the every week it was burning us out for one thing. So that's the reason why we kind of space these things out because we have families, we have obligations outside of this show, but we definitely do appreciate everybody for coming through, supporting the channel, uh, whether it's the chat, liking, sharing, commenting in the live chat. Man, we definitely appreciate all of y'all coming through, and we do have a special guest tonight. Some people might know him. Most people know him. Some people might not, but we gonna deep dive. We're gonna deep dive into this one here tonight. But first of all, we want to get the intros out the way. First, I am Black, aka BAA,
Top
to my
18.
side, and our other two esteemed co-hosts are doing family business. So keep both of those guys in your prayers. They will be back on the next show, hopefully. But
Yeah.
let's get to the guest at hand. This guy is literally in the future. And when I say he's in the future, that means I think it's either 15 or 17 hours ahead of us.
I think it was
So
15.
if we're 7:18 Central Time, that means you're on a Tuesday night. That means you're say what your time and day is.
9:18 on Wednesday morning.
Whew. You know what would
Yeah.
have been fun? You know what would have been fun if it was New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
And we was
that's
we
that
was
would
we
be
was I'm talking in 2026. Y'all still in 2025.
I know, right? That is
But
crazy.
yeah, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the masses, man, and let everybody know where they can find you.
certainly. My name is Joshua Devaney, aka the Michael Jordan Tour Historian. You can find me on Instagram at joshua.devaney. And it's an absolute pleasure and honor to be here sharing this time with you guys. So thank you very much once again. I really
Absolutely,
appreciate it.
man. Absolutely. We're glad you reached out and wanted to share your passion, with our audience. Again, appreciate you for doing that. Um, let's get started then. Let me ask you a question real quick. When it comes to collecting, because we just had this conversation. So when it comes to collecting, is it a difference between being a collector or a sneakerhead or hoarder or a historian? What is your definition or your difference in that space?
I certainly want to start off by saying this is no disrespect to anybody from my interpretation of what I'm about to say. It's I call myself a historian and not a collector because I'm
Mhm.
about researching, preserving, documenting, and educating. I think a collector is somebody who just sort of buys and dare I say hoards, or just keeps to themselves. So that's no shade at anybody. That's just my personal interpretation, and I always wanted to separate myself individually from the mass. So by calling myself the historian and doing what I do, I think that's a little bit different than what just generally a collector is.
Right. So it's safe to say. So what if somebody did call you anything outside of a historian? Would you
That-
feel some type of way, or you would just say, "Hey, man,
not at all, not at all. Anybody's thoughts about me are their own, and it's never for me to to take on that or to be upset about. But it's always how you view and see yourself, and to align with the truth. And the truth is, I do document, preserve, research, educate, and inspire others through my collection. So I think that certainly falls into that historian category.
So when you do your research, what extent did you go to for like a certain piece?
Oh man, I'm glad you asked, because we're going to start off. We're going to start off about the one that I'm known for. So this is, if you go on Google Michael Jordan's rarest toy, this is what you're going to find. So this is the very first Michael Jordan toy. So he was photographed, and forgive me, he's photographed there with that figurine.
Mm-hmm.
And in that writing itself, on there, it says the 8 3/4 inch Michael Jordan figure. So here you can see Michael Jordan photographed and promoting it. Now, for reasons that we are still learning and finding out, this is the box set that it came in. And clearly you can see that figurine is not Michael Jordan. That's a white guy figurine loosely based on Larry Bird, who was signed with Ohio Art at that time as well. So that's something pretty cool. How far?
Wait a minute. Wait. So Larry Bird got a 23 on his jersey? That man ain't want no 23, man.
Yeah, I know, but Larry didn't. This is the story I was told. Larry didn't want his own figurine. Larry was quite sort of humble and stuff. So they based it loosely off Larry Bird, and obviously to separate him, 23 was the chosen number to put on. So
was that the very first one they did?
Too. Sorry, well, there was two questions at once.
I said, it looked like they put him in an Indiana uniform too.
Yeah.
The red,
white and red, yeah.
Yeah.
Or trailblazers.
And the arms pull back and fire a basketball. So the first question you asked me, Blake, how far have I gone? Well, in research, so I guess I started off with a phone call from here, because these were coming in plastic bags. I had about 16 of these at the time, just in plastic bags. I quickly realized the company who'd made them. And as you can see, their product packaging and stuff is always bright and beautifully colored and stuff like that. So the first thing I did was I rang the toy company. Fast forward to about 6-12 months later, I traveled from here, Perth, Western Australia, to the toy company itself and had an hour-long meeting with their archives department and CEO. So that effort alone would probably put me in a bracket that not many people, first of all, travel that sort of distance. So that's sort of the efforts I've gone to, plus getting it out into the universe through magazines, TV, radio, newspaper, Google searches, YouTube, stuff like that as well. So I've certainly done a lot for that first figurine, just to give you an answer to that question.
Who was what was the toy company's name?
They're called Ohio Art. I don't know if there's any. There we go. Down the bottom corner. Forgive me for the reflection again. Ohio Art.
Okay, I see it.
They're in Bryant, Ohio. So I flew all the way out there. As I said, had a wonderful tour and conversation with their people. They've been around for 100 years. They're well known for the Etch-a-Sketch, which is this product here.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I'll just show you what's really cool about this is that I've got that photo enlarged of Michael with that figurine. I got an Etch-a-Sketch artist to recreate that on an Etch-a-Sketch.
Don't shake it too hard.
Hey, man. Don't touch the dial.
No. So what happens, this has been viewed on YouTube on her channel nearly 6 million times.
Wow.
She showed the process on how she cuts this open and gets rid of the excess material inside and then scissors it back up. So yeah, I can certainly play with it. The great story about this is Michael got signed to Ohio Art as his first toy endorsement. I went there as a parting gift from the CEO. He gave me this, which was 100-year anniversary Etch-a-Sketch, obviously blank.
Yeah, I went see the metallic on it.
Yeah, I was say that's
that mirror finish on it. Yeah.
So I went to Chicago 2 stops after. when I was in Ohio. I met up with the Etch-a-Sketch artist in Chicago, and she created that for me. So that's almost like a full circle moment. And again, that's been seen on YouTube nearly 6 million times. And
so it's got the gold cursive writing and the gold knobs on it.
Correct, yeah. So that's the 100-year. I've got the casing somewhere. Oh, I've got it just here.
Man, why you ain't got that like behind a plexiglass case or something?
Yeah, so
shit, it came with his own little tin.
Oh yeah, it came with its own tin and everything. Yeah, this is the 100-year anniversary collector's edition. So I thought, what a great gift. And straight away, I knew what I was going to do with it because, as I said, 2 stops later, I was going to Chicago to already meet up with this Etch-a-Sketch artist. So I gave it to her then. I said, look, I want this image on it. Whatever it takes, just get it done. And she did wonderful job. Absolutely wonderful job.
How many of those 100 editions did they make? Or do you know?
That's a good question. I can't tell you the answer. I don't know how many of those were made.
I've never seen that before, man. I've never seen that piece.
This is the only one with this image, that's for sure. So that's
you're right about that.
That's such a cool piece that I keep with me. And you imagine how hard it would be to get the lines, the detail, the shading, all of that in with just using those 2 knobs.
Hey, you can't do that in one night.
Where is it? No, you can't.
You can do that in one night.
Let me just show you. So her name is Jane Princess Etch. Give her a follow on Instagram. She's worked with Disney Channel and a few other TV. She's in the Guinness World Records book, I think, as well. So she's a wonderful artist, and
nice.
She did that for me, and I certainly love it.
Nice.
Okay.
So I got a question for you. Let's take it back to like the beginning. Like what really got you? When did you notice Michael Jordan and his playing? Was it the shoes? Was it him playing? Like, what got you into wanting to collect these toys? Was it like a moment, or just kind of break that down?
All right, so we'll start specifically with the toys. I'm very fortunate. My mum took a photo, and that's me in 1994 with a Michael Jordan hoop. The very first Michael Jordan toy I received was that. And that's me dunking on my younger sister just there.
Okay. Shame on you.
Nah, you did right. Show no mercy.
You did right. No mercy.
And do you know, like the memories and the nostalgia I had with that hoop has lived with me ever since. So I was very fortunate to have that, and that triggered the memories. So from 94, I got a couple of Space Jams figurines in 96 when the movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
And
I got one of those around here somewhere, but like I'm missing the basketball. It actually still talked a little bit, so I don't know where. Yeah, that one right there. Yeah,
and it's still the original. This is still sealed.
Yeah,
and still. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah, yeah. Mine would still play. I don't know where mine is.
It's still talking. There's some long-lasting batteries, whatever they were back then.
Yeah, I know.
We need them batteries today.
That's phenomenal. So I had those. Fast forward to 2015. I was working in what we call FIFO, which is fly in, fly out. It was mining. Back then I was doing a 4-on-1 roster, so 4 weeks away, 1 week home, working for oil and gas. So I was really making some good coin. I was married at the time and had the option to pay off my house, or because I was coming to the end of my FIFO stint. So that was about 5 years. I worked 6.5 years straight doing 4-on-1, so that's quite a mental challenge. I wanted something to show for my hard work and time rather than just brick and mortar. And against the will and the approval of my wife at the time, I opted to buy toy figurines. And I didn't just find Michael Jordan toys. It sort of started off with movie toys, Ghostbusters, Star Trek, stuff like that. And I had amassed quite a few. And I remember assembling them in the room to take a photo, and I felt sort of sick in the stomach because there seemed to be no direction. There was no clarity in what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? Like it just seemed. And I watched a TV show called Antiques Roadshow, and that for me, I still watch. And what I love about that show is there are certain people who accumulate items or stuff like that, and then become focused. And they sort of become more the expert than the expert themselves because of their passion and stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So I thought, well, what do I generally and truly like? I thought, well, I love basketball. I love toys. So I'm like, basketball toys. That's it. And for those who don't know, I'm always happy to share this. Magic Johnson is still, and was back then and is still today, my favorite player of all time. I love Magic. I'm a Lakers supporter. So I looked on eBay for Magic Johnson toys and sadly found there was only like 27 in total. So I thought,
Wait. So hold on. Magic is your favorite player, but you collect Michael Jordan toys, and of course I see shoes in the background.
And there's good reason for that because Michael is the greatest of all time. And his legacy is no disrespect to Magic because it is what it is. But I looked on Magic Johnson toys and found there was only like 27. So I thought with the money I'm earning and my drive, I'm going to have that knocked out in a week. So that doesn't seem to be much of a challenge. Mm-hmm. So then my mind went back to this hoop. I thought, what are the odds if I go on eBay and I find it? Sure enough, I went on eBay and here it is here.
Oh, nice.
I ended up buying that back, but I didn't just get the hoop. I got the original packaging. And back then, what did I do? Back then, it also came with this, a VHS tape on how to use
it. Instructions.
Nice. My question is, do you have the player to play that?
I do. And the funny thing is, if you do get a chance to watch this, Michael is playing against opponents doing, I guess, some of the moves, but it's actually narrated and spoken by, and then the other moves shown by his brother Larry. So Larry does all the talking on this video for this toy hoop set. And that to me is just phenomenal. I don't know of any other toy that came with an instructional video narrated by the brother and showing all the different, the layups, like, you know what I mean? Like all the different, that to me just blew my mind. So
Larry was the truth. He was a good basketball player.
That's what Michael says. If they reckon if Larry was taller, he would have been better than MJ.
Yeah, like when they were showing The Last Dance and they was showing Larry Jordan at the Chicago Bulls, man, he was like way shorter than Jordan, just dunking like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, almost like about 5'8", 5'9", somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
I guess the world has Larry to thank for making Michael, I guess, that competitive, because Michael has often said that he played that hard so he could beat his brother. Once he started dominating and beating his brother convincingly, that's when he knew that he was at sort of that level, you know what I mean? So thanks to Larry for being the older brother and doing what he did, that made Michael who he is today.
Man, shout out to Larry Jordan, man. Shout out to Larry Jordan.
From that, I'll just show you as well. So that was my first hoop, but through what I do, which is, you know, as I said, documenting, researching, and preserving, I got blown up. So this is part of the booklet that the sales booklet. I actually got blown up into a poster size, the advertisement and stuff that came with that hoop as well.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that just creates that. It's no longer just the memory. It's all those bits and pieces that come with it now that make it so much more special.
Right.
You know
So let me ask you this real quick. Before you got into the Jordan and athletic toys, what was your probably biggest toy collection? When you said, because you said you was kind of like you were just all over the place with the toys.
So before, what did I amass the most? Oh, that's a good question. I had a lot of Gremlins, Ghostbuster toys, I think, you know, so there's quite a few, and Scarface, so I had quite a few different ones. But
my thing was Star Wars. I used to have a decent amount of Star Wars toys. That was my thing. I think Black, he was more on the G.I. Joe Transformers tip.
Right, yeah. I had a couple of those. I didn't have a deep dive into it, and as I said, like I sort of felt in myself a bit sick of my stomach that there was just a whole mass of toys but no focus and no direction.
Mm-hmm.
So
you ended up getting rid of those?
Yeah, I did, absolutely. Yeah, I sold all those off and used some of that money to buy more Michael Jordan stuff. So that's how it really started. And from there, I just, as I said, with that income, I was buying one or two of anything I could find on eBay, and just started amassing all these toys and figurines that you can sort of see here. But this is the one that I'm probably most happy and known for, is this one, because no information was known about this toy. The starting lineup, 1988 figurine, if I've got that somewhere, which I do, was known as the rookie toy. And because this wasn't officially sold or released, yet photographed and promoted, nobody knew of its absolute existence and what it means. Because as you can see,
how many of those do you have? Because I see you with a lot of them. How many of those do you have?
Look, at one stage I had 33, but I've given, I want to say seven or eight away to certain individuals. Like Fat Joe's got one, Luke Longley's got one, Aaron Cooper's got one. Who else? There's quite a few. Marcus Jordan, of course, because the Jordan family didn't have one, so I sent one to Marcus. Marcus has been. Shout out to Marcus too. I've got a lot of respect and love for him. That's the photo of him in his office in Orlando with some of the toys and figurines on that top shelf that I've sent him. And he's been. Do you know, I say to people all the time, and it's true. I've got friends I've known here for 30 years. I can message Marcus and generally get a response within half an hour, maybe two. My friends here in Perth take up to a week. So it's it's a lot of love and respect, and I really appreciate Marcus all the time. Which, if we can just quickly, we'll do a what do we call it? A segue. This is the Air Jordan 17, the PE, their PE. About a year ago, I was fortunate through a guy on Instagram who I've had contact with for a few years in Melbourne, was selling off some of his collection, and he advertised this as the Marcus Jeffrey Jordan PE. So this is the Air Jordan 17. This is a beautiful, like, I think it's called like a crocodile green. And I messaged Marcus before I purchased it, and I said, look, is this your shoe? He said, yes. I said, well, if I buy it, will you sign it? He said, absolutely. So I sent it over, and while I was in transit, I said, look, what are the odds of getting Jeff to sign this as well? And he goes, yeah, sure, no worries. So it was in his possession for a while, because I'm thinking, imagine reuniting him. So this is their first shoe that their dad and the brand created for them. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Was this
Is that when he was playing in
the college?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I think it
was he at UCF?
Yeah, UCF, yeah, the Golden Knights.
I think it was middle school. So this is before college.
Oh, middle school.
Oh, okay.
Snap.
So this is the very first shoe the Jordan brand created for the boys. Now, at that time, you could imagine there was a lot of expectation, and because they're the sons of the GOAT, you know what I mean? So wearing these shoes, I think that brought back a bit of nostalgia for them. So I was able to put this in their hands, and they signed it. They signed both shoes for me, the Air Jordan 17, which is, and
that's nice, man.
I've shown 23 BC and a few other people that you've had on your show, just to get some ideas. There's been estimates that this has certainly gone up in value since the signature. Part of our conversation today, and what I'd like to do is obviously be invited to that gathering and meet you guys in person finally. I'd love to get Wilson's signature on this. I think that would make sense to get Wilson's signature. And from there, we say there's only one signature missing to make this story complete, because I think that's what it is. This is a storytelling shoe. Exactly. This is your son's first PE. How cool would it be to have the designer and then the man himself to sign this shoe? I think that would make a great museum piece. It's storytelling. And again, it shows the respect and the reach that I'm fortunate to have, because it's just a few messages to Marcus, and this was able to happen all the way from Australia. So
let me see the back of that heel. I want to see that suede. You said that's suede, or is that
I couldn't look. I'm not a shoe expert or connoisseur per se.
Turn it to the side a little bit.
It looks like it might be some nubuck suede.
Yeah,
probably some suede.
And you said it's green.
Yeah, it's like a crocodile green, they call it. So it's,
it looks like a dark green, like a forest.
Like a dark green, like a forest. Yeah, okay.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, there's the soles. I've learned about, like you have spoken recently with 23 BC about the golf.
Yeah, that's
stuff like
urban legend.
yeah, exactly. So like to have this,
urban legend.
So at the gathering, Black was the one that asked that question about the sole of the shoe.
Yeah.
So if Black hadn't asked that question, we would have never known exactly what it was, and it came straight from Wilson.
And I haven't met Jeff or had contact with Jeff, but for him to do without being prompted by me, and certainly because I've just asked Marcus, much love and respect to those guys. These will stay with me for some time, and the goal is, as I said, to get Wilson to sign it, and from there on, MJ, and then that's a great storytelling piece.
Hey man, what size Marcus Jordan is, man? That look like my size.
These well, Marcus, I believe, got size.
He was in middle school, Black. That's
look, when he played college ball, he got a big feet now, so that means he probably grew into. He grew out of that shoe.
I could probably. I'm a 13. These are 11, so I could probably stuff my foot.
That's my size. That's my size.
You know what I mean? Like, out of respect for the family, I don't want to even try them on. I just
that plastic would probably just disintegrate Thanos style if you put it on.
Oh yeah,
and it didn't come with a box, so I ended up buying one of these.
Okay, then the case.
That midsole actually looks like it's a little sticky. It's got that film.
It is.
Yeah, it is. That film.
It is.
Got that
Be
film.
careful with that thing, man. Be careful with it.
Yeah, so that's a pretty dope shoe that I have in my collections. That
alone
should hopefully get me the invite to get over there. And Wilson, man, I really need that pair signed for.
Hey, so let me ask you this. I know you're the toy historian. What was the first Jordan that you ever had?
I can't wait to get that thing.
I figured you'd ask me this. Is this one?
Oh, nice.
Now, is that the Varsity Red 6?
Yeah. This is from that
2010.
Yeah. So, but I had the original 91. I had the 91s.
Yeah, the 91. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you a quick story. I've told this, but I'll share it with you. My brother and I were told at the beginning of the year if we were good students, and my father went to work over in Sydney on the other side of the country for a year. If we were good students, he'd buy us a pair of shoes. So the first Jordan shoe I saw that year, at the beginning of the year, was a black metallic 5. And that stood out to me. So that whole year, and I didn't understand how shoes and seasons and that worked. That whole year, I thought I had my mind on getting a pair of those black 5s. Get on the plane, and there's this young kid sitting in the front row, and his feet are dangling, and all I can see is this. The great 5s. So I'm like, man, that's what I want. That's this. I fell in love with the shoe. My favorite shoe still to this day.
The best 5?
Yeah, the great 5s.
Get out of here. Get on
my favorite Jordan shoe of all time. So we get to Sydney, meet Dad, drives us straight to a shoe shop. We go in. I've got a younger brother by 2 years, so we both get into the shop at the same time. But he absolutely legs it, runs straight towards the black version of these. And I'm like, damn. And we're polar opposites. So I'm like, crap, I had to reluctantly get these, even though I wanted the black ones, you know what I mean? So I've had a love-hate relationship with this shoe ever since. I've grown to appreciate it and like it more. But the blacks are still, and like with the reverse ones came out this year, I certainly want to get a pair of those as well. But this is the first Jordan shoe I ever had. And it was after a year of being a good student and just a good boy at home. So that holds a lot of memories for me, right?
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't a bad shoe to get. That's the silhouette he won his first championship in. And
yeah, absolutely. I beat my Lakers too, so that was, it was a bit of sweet.
Sixes are up there for me as well. That's, I go back and forth. Fours is my favorite Jordan of all time, but sixes are up there. Sixes are up there for me.
Yeah, so I feel very blessed to have come up in that age and that era because everything seemed to be pretty cool back then. You know what I mean? Pre-social media and stuff like that. You sort of heard about it through somebody who, one of the guys at school had friends or family in America, and he'd come back and tell some stories, and we'd get a bit more information. Or there was a Saturday basketball show for a couple of hours, and you'd sort of catch snippets. And if you wanted to watch a full game, I think it was on a Friday night after Letterman at 12 o'clock at night, you could watch one full game if you're lucky.
Gotcha. Now, since we go ahead, Black, what you about to say?
No, I was just saying nice.
Now, since we kind of got on the subject of shoes, you said you had an unboxing that you wanted to do, right?
Man, I'm glad you asked. So I'll just start off by, are you familiar with a gentleman called Mark Smith who designed the NBA trophy, the new one with Michael Jordan? Have you seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Mark Smith, a former Nike designer, I was able to find these
You got
on eBay. There's 2,500 of these. These are the Laser Tech Air Force Ones.
Okay, nice.
Now, what makes it even special, and I said these came back in the mail New Year's Eve, is I managed to get Mark to sign this for me.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Josh, keep up the passion. And then on this side is his signature and date.
Mark
So, yeah, man,
wow.
that's somebody, again, very closely linked to MJ. He designed the Chinkoro tequila bottle for MJ as well as probably, I think, his garage and other bits and pieces. And, yeah, man, to have that signed as part of my collection now, that's what I want. I haven't posted this. I wanted to share this here with you exclusively.
And that's a one-piece upper that's laser panels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that the detailing in that is phenomenal.
Yeah,
it is, man.
And he messaged me when he sent them to say thank you for sending them, because he hadn't seen them in a while. Like, I guess these designers do things and they move on quickly to other things.
Yeah, it's on to the next, basically.
That's kind of like the same thing Aaron Cooper was saying, because
man,
you could probably pull a shoe out that he probably forgot he designed.
Yeah,
right.
And as I said to Mark, I'm so super grateful and that, because again, these are things that I'll pass on to my daughter. You know, I mean, these will come, and it's like Aaron says, there's the stories that matter. There's a great story about this, and again, I'll tell you, I'm in Perth, Western Australia, one of the most remote cities in the world. To have connection with these people closely linked to MJ, or just to be able to reach out confidently and say, "Look, I've got this.
Right.
Can you please sign?" Obviously, I'll pay return postage and whatever it is, but is there any chance? And they, I guess it's authentic. They understand and see my passion. I'm not trying to sell these or move on.
Right.
These mean so much to me. I treasure them and hold them dearly. I've got some other signed shoes I'll show you in a minute. But that's just what's come in the mail on New Year's Eve. I flew home 2 days ago, opened them up, and I'm like, Mark, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, this is, do you know what I mean? Like, that, it's those little things like that that mean so much to me. I'll show you a non-Nike Jordan shoe. This is a Naughty by Nature Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing. Let me find out you love Patrick Ewing's now.
Oh yeah. I love that colorway. You know, the gum bottoms, the black and the gold sort of buckles and stuff like that. But again, through Instagram, through passion, I've made friends with Vinny from Naughty by Nature, and he signed that.
Vinny. Shout out to Patrick Ewing. Probably got one of the most nastiest dunk arms ever.
Man.
Hey man, why you had to bring it up?
In the Jordan.
I love it. The tongue on this, shoe is so fat and big.
Yeah, those things was fat, man.
It's like Terry Crews's tongue. You know what I mean? Like, he's got that. It's like that.
Pause.
Yeah, I ain't like that. Respect. I'll show you.
I was gonna do a Jim Jones. You can tongue fuck that mug right there.
Man.
Here's another non-Jordan shoe.
I just pulled mine out.
Growing up in the 90s, I remember seeing this. The first image I had of this shoe was that, and this was hanging from a
VRS.
Yeah, this was hanging from a ceiling in a sports locker, a local shoe store here. And that's my first image. I fell in love because coming from the 80s into the early 90s, we were all about fluoros and stuff like that. So I saw this shoe.
Oh, yeah.
And the point guard for our team, we had two. We had an American import whose name was Ricky Grace, and Ricky was probably one of the best players the league has ever had. But his back-to-back was a guy named Eric Watterson. And for me, Eric, I guess it's not a fair comparison, but I'll give you some sort of idea. It was like Dellavedova.
Yeah, Dellavedova for Cleveland.
I call him Mr. 1%. He did all the 1% things right. And after he retired, Eric has an award named after him now within the team, the Perth Wildcats, called the Eric Watterson Award. And that goes to the player who embodies, I guess, the true values of being a teammate, turning out, being reliable, and all that sort of stuff. So, long story short, I was working with Eric's cousin up north, and I found out one day, and I said, "You're joking? He's my favorite player of all time." And she goes, "Well, he doesn't sort of ever get that compliments or hear it." I said, "I've got this shoe. What are the chance you could get your cousin to sign this for me?" And sure enough, he signed it. And fast forward a couple of years later, I was very fortunate to be invited to a couple VIP Wildcats events, and I got to go and meet Eric, and I took this, and he goes, "Oh, this is you." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Eric," I said, "last time you signed it, I wasn't present. Would you mind re-signing it?" And I think it's this one. Yeah. He re-signed it 1st of August 2021 at the top there. So down the bottom was the first signature, and then you re-signed it just up there.
Nice.
So
nice.
This, thank you. Yeah, this shoe brings back a lot of memories without the signatures, but to have the signature again, the storytelling, the connection, this is certainly one of my
to it, man.
Yeah, man, this is one of my favorite Reebok pumps of all time. So to have it signed by my favorite player, to have met him, that was like a 30-year moment I had to wait for, and it was definitely worth it. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
That's pretty cool. And I'll show you the last signed shoe I've got here at the moment is the one I'm sure you're familiar with, which is the Aaron Cooper 247. So he's put his moniker on that one. And this is why I'd love to. I want to meet Aaron, obviously, in person. I've had a few conversations with him enough to be invited to the gathering, to have that opportunity is certainly something I'm looking forward to. To Joshua, it's the stories that matter. So that's
he's a dope individual, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's
dope
been
individual.
a pleasure. And that just goes to show you a few signed pairs of my collection. These are the shoes I hopefully want to be wearing.
Oh, the ships.
Yeah.
Is that from the pack?
It is. And as you can see, this is part of my story. The shoes on this toy.
Same shoe.
So we're wondering if Nike has said, look, this is intellectual property infringement. This is why it can't go ahead and be sold. The story the toy company told me was that this figurine tested with so they have a pre-test with the kids in the room and stuff to see which one they gravitate towards. And this is the one that they seemingly went for and chose over this one. But again, it's photographed and promoted, and it never went ahead or was sold. So that to me is quite fascinating, that there may be some involvement.
If only they knew back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
If only they knew.
I must show you this.
So, this may sound crazy, but they put the black doll and the white doll in the same room, and the kids picked the white doll.
Well, this is 1987.
I know.
In Ohio. You know what I mean? Like I said, how they worded it to me was lack of popularity, and I looked at them confused, and I said, in 1987, and going into 88, Jordan had won the slam dunk comps. His star status was that trajectory always. So popularity didn't mean him per his performance. It meant in that room with these children in this city, they gravitated towards.
They was looking at Bird because Bird was winning chips at that time too.
Wow, yeah. I mean, MJ had.
And what Hop said too.
Did they try to say that was Larry Bird, or they just made a white Michael Jordan?
Well, it's funny enough in this photo, right? In that photo with Jordan promoting it, and it's hard to see because I can only get it in so close. They used the Larry Bird figurine and colored it, the hair and that black. It's got the Larry Bird face.
But the Larry Bird, did they make him with the red jersey too? Because he had a red jersey on in that picture, and the one you got is the white jersey, right?
The white jersey,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. So it's in this. Are you talking about this picture?
The one Michael. The one
in the middle.
That's the red jersey, ain't it?
Yeah, but that's Michael.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And that's what Michael was apparently offended about, is that they've just colored this in for the photo. So he was unhappy. So they actually went ahead and they wouldn't say mass, but they made a few of these, and that had to be green lit and approved by Michael himself. That looks more like MJ.
Yeah, it does.
The other one. But for the photo, because they rushed it, they simply just painted that one black.
I got you.
Which is
The nerve of them.
Crazy, yeah, it was. But like you
And
said, that was back in the 80s, so
it was, and I've been very fortunate that, again, through my research and stuff like that, this is the 1987 version, so this is pre-Jordan. So it came with that figurine, and then if I can, side by side, there's, I don't want to cover up his face. You can see they've just added MJ's face on it.
Yeah, I see it.
Now that figurine should have been MJ's figurine. So
right.
I often wonder. Look, I asked Marcus to ask his dad if he remembered anything. He told me no. He goes, because Josh, in 30-something years, Dad's done so much. And I said, well, that's great. He goes, what do you mean? I go, well, that's a conversation for me to have with him when I get there, to say, most people remember the first. If that's your first figurine styled on you, because the starting lineups was the NBA, the couple of players from the team. This was Michael's very first own standalone figurine. For that to not to be sold or released, you've photographed or promoted it. You might have put it at the back of your mind. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to remember it. Yeah, there must be something still there. So,
gotta be. It's gotta be. What other figurines that you have, or toys that you could? I don't want to say collect. That you curate. I'll say that.
Just strictly Michael. That's it. So from his hoops.
Well, I'm saying, is it other like variations or versions of Michael that you have from different companies? Like,
yeah,
what's
absolutely.
the next? Like, what's the next from that one there? What's the next one, like year later, or if it's a couple of years later, like a timeline?
Yeah, certainly. So it was the starting lineup, which I bought this off eBay. This was listed. I'll take the cover off. This was listed as a signed Michael Jordan figurine. Now, this is where you sort of learn as you go. I thought, what a great piece to have. Wasn't overly priced, but still sort of reflected. So I bought this. This is still sealed in pack. And up the top there was the signature. Now, known for one of the most forged signatures of all sports. I had that authenticated, or tried to get it authenticated, and came back as certainly a fake. Me being me, I chose to wear the loss and chalk it off as an experience, as opposed to trying to get the seller back. But that's was the next one. So starting lineups, and again, like it shows you on the back all the teams and all the players you could get. Now, I'm sorry for the reflection, but there's quite a lot.
I got one. I think I got no. You, what year was that right there?
I think it was 88.
Okay, I think the one I got is I got a Glenn Robinson when he played for the Michigan Wolverines, and then I'm sorry, Glenn Rice. My bad, Glenn Rice.
Okay, yeah.
When he played for the Michigan, and I think when he played for the Lakers, so it's like a combo in one pack that I got.
Yeah.
Of
and
Glenn
then there was
Robinson.
these sets. So there's another figurine. This is sealed in box. Michael Jordan starting lineup. It came with like a newspaper article and stuff like that, and on the back was the others that you could collect.
Okay, it's like a stand that goes from like how McFarlane do theirs.
Yeah. So that was chronologically the next one. So I sort of bought all the sealed ones of those. Talking about Michael Jordan signatures quickly though. So that one was a fake. This one I bought from a guy who so Jordan's first tour line, as I said, was with Ohio Art. Through a guy who was promoted in some of those first toy products, I was able to get this. And what you're looking at is an artist sketch of one of Michael Jordan's first toy hoops. And that's signed to Emily and to Ryan. And if you look at that Jordan signature, that's one of those early ones where that J loops.
It loops all into his first name.
Yeah, man. So that's super cool, because that's of his first box toy hoop. And what's even cooler is I managed to get one of those sealed, and I have that just here.
Oh wow. Nice. Hey, but look at that signature though.
Yeah. So that artist drew that image first to be made up and mocked up on here. And MJ signed that. So I've got that signed, which again, being the toy historian, the toy guy, that really ties into sort of that
Man, I bet you
history.
got a whole bunch of stuff just around you waiting to just, show and stuff. Like
Oh
the way
well,
you picking it up, and it's
yeah.
like,
Well,
man, like you got a pile of stuff around you.
prior to coming on, I was sitting around here just going. Sometimes because it's boxed up and put in storage, you forget things, this and that, and
Right.
certainly the historical significance of it. And then when I was sitting here while I was waiting to come on, I'm looking at it going, you have amassed quite a wonderful set of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like
That just
there's so
shows
much.
the passion, man. That's it.
Yeah. And I never talk about value or trying to sell it or anything like that. It's always just about passion. This is the photo of MJ with those kids, and I believe that's Emily there and Ryan there. So he signed that for these two kids, and what a time! Like,
Man,
next in front of MJ is that young boy leaning against that locker. You can see that figurine.
I'm seeing it. Yeah, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it fascinates me that there's something that is photographed and promoted, MJ related, and still not released or signed, sold. Sorry, it's just
So that his first tour, they never released that then.
never, and it goes
So how
on
many-
to that.
So how many do you think that's kind of floating out there?
Well, I do my research, and this is what I say. This is why I call myself a historian. So the conversations I had with their archives department when I got a hold of them, she sent me an email saying it suggested 48 in total. I had 32.
Wow.
Dang.
Which now some photos have surfaced in between the years. I can't vouch for a photo. If they are real, if they are true, it's still going to be less than 100. Their product range and quantities that they sell at that time were 2,500. So to be at 100, it's still I guess a pre-production, mass-produced item. So that's why I call it the first Michael Jordan toy. And this one is the one I had when I met H. This is the one that H was holding. And these are the standard ones. Now, just from the front alone, you can see this one I'm holding on this hand has a white chest.
T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. T-shirt
That's a
is
fact.
Oh, white chest.
Yeah, that's a factory flaw because there should have been a skin tone like that. So they've done that on purpose, right? This one has reverse. Oh, sorry, you probably can't see that.
You got the reverse check.
Yeah, it's got the reverse swooshes. This is from 1987. You know what I mean? That's so it's been rumored that one might have been done separate from the rest to possibly give to MJ because that's two factory flaws. So being the first Jordan toy to exist with two factory flaws is what I consider it to be. And if you Google type this in as well, Michael Jordan's rarest toy, this is what comes up because this is a standalone from the rest, which is absolutely amazing that it would end up in my hands and then to have H photographed holding this one, the rarest one.
Right.
Man, what a great experience that was.
So do you find most of your stuff on eBay or is it just kind of like where you can get it at, where you can find it?
Well, certainly a lot of these toys never made their way to Australia. I was lucky to get that hoop back in the day. It was all eBay. So I say I spent 100,000, 75 of that was product, 25 was on shipping because I wasn't buying mass lots. I was buying individually, and a lot of the time shipping was sometimes more, if not the same as the product.
As the product itself, yeah.
Because I wanted it so badly, I was just paying whatever it was because I just wanted it for my collection. As I said, when I was buying these, I had no idea what they were. Now, I can clearly remember after having just two of these in plastic bags in the room that wasn't set up properly, I walk in and look at these, and there was just something instinctively telling me there's something special about this. I didn't know anything. I'm going, there's something special. And then to come out, and here we are, excuse my language, probably 8 years later, this story is still being told. This is still getting out there. I was very fortunate through my passion to have made it into issue 42 of Sneaker Freaker magazine, same as Jumpman Bostic, but different issue. And we have it here, the world's first Michael Jordan toy. The one with the white chest.
The white white chest. I keep trying to say white
12,
t-shirt.
Yeah, I got a 12-page feature, and it goes on to talk about the possible relation being a Nike Air ship on the shoe.
Mhm.
I guess my journey, because they were following me when I was in America, and when I got back, they reached out and said, "Would you be interested in this international sneaker magazine, not a toy magazine, sneaker magazine?"
Yeah,
So
sneaker magazine.
Christian Tresser's featured. I hope I said his name right.
Yeah, Treasure.
Featured in this magazine as well. So it's like, as time goes on, I mean, I've always been grateful, but it's certainly a humbling experience, and it's just sold out. I posted that late last year. I can't. And I'm sorry, guys, I can't even send you a copy. They've been sold out. And
Yeah.
I've had to buy one off eBay recently. That's the last one I sent out, was to Mark Smith as part of a thank you gift. I wanted to give him something. So I bought one off eBay for a lot more than what I normally would have paid for. Didn't matter. It ended up in a great home. And thankfully, Mark's got that as just a tribute to my appreciation for what he did for me.
That's a great gesture. That's all.
Yeah, well,
That's
absolutely.
all it was.
He didn't have to. Like I reached out to him, I think 2 times. The first time he'd read it, and I left it for a while, and I'm like, I'm pretty persistent, so let me just ask again. The worst I can hear is no. Until I hear a no, I just sort of
That's kind of like what I say. The worst thing they can say is no.
Exactly.
And a no to me is just a not now, not a not ever. You know what I mean? So I'll circle back until I get a, hey, look, now I'm blocking you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Ain't no need to get mad. Ain't no need to get mad.
And it obviously paid off, because when I did reach out the second time, he said, "Look, I'm sorry, I've just been busy." You can imagine somebody like that, who phenomenal, how amazing and busy they must be. And he made it seem like it was no worries or effort at all. Just send it, return postage, he'll sign it. So I'm like, I've got to get him something to say thank you besides my words. You know what I mean? Let me leave you something behind. And I was very fortunate to do that. I guess that.
I got a couple of cars that I need to see about getting checked, because I got when I was in my first store, I had a guy that gave me some cars that supposedly are supposed to be signed by Jordan. So I really
you want to get those authenticated, definitely.
Yeah, this is one of them. I don't know if you could see it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it looks legit, but again, like, his signature's so.
See, there's different ones. Like, I don't know if he was like in a rush. I'm not sure.
It'd be worth checking out for sure. I mean, it'd be great to come back if they were legit.
Right. Some of the M's look good. The J's look. Some of them look like that. That one looks maybe legit. Not really sure.
Yeah, that one is.
The J somewhat looks.
I ain't never seen none of these cars that you're showing either.
Yeah, somebody. I don't know if this came from like a North Carolina set. I'm not really quite sure. So, because that's another one.
Yeah, definitely worth getting checked out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool would it be? I mean, they're going to be, as you know, those cards they're worth some money now. So,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. But
it'd be great to pay an authenticator just to
have something like that with his signature on it.
Absolutely.
I
was very fortunate. So a couple of years ago, I met Luke Longley. I had I've still got it was a meet and greet, VIP meet and greet, and I'd taken a box with me with one of these magazines and the toys in it, and I said to Luke, look, it's been like, that's when he played with the Bulls, that sort of brought a lot of our attention over there. And being from the same city that I'm from, there was the extra connectivity. So when I met Luke, I took one of these. I said, any chance? I said, could you sign that? So he signed MJ's first toy. So this is, I think, the only one signed by a championship teammate in existence.
All right.
So that's pretty cool as well. So when I gave him the toy boxed up, I said, look, if you do have contact with MJ, because I know sometimes the relationship's a bit, especially after the Last Dance, Luke not being featured, just send a photo of it and an email to MJ, just to see what he'd say. You know what I mean? So whether that happened or not, I don't know, but I still think that was pretty cool to leave him with one.
Yeah.
And you asked me where some of them have gone, and as I said, Luke himself has ended up with one, which is pretty cool.
So, do you have any of the recent Jordan figurines that they've been releasing, like through Interbay and these other newer companies?
Yeah, I do. I've got one with me. The rest are in storage. So I've got some the pops, the other stuff. This is probably my favorite one because he's wearing the airship. So the very first toy came out in 1987 to be released in 88, had what I call the airship. And it wasn't until maybe 20 something years later, they actually released this one with the airships. And
yeah, that looks like the actual shoe behind you.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
There you go. So yeah, it does. It was nice for them to pay tribute eventually in one way or another through that. So I do have them. They are in storage. I'll keep this one said near and dear to me for obvious reasons. But I have those. I have the pops. What are the other ones called? Mazco. I do have a lot of them. I don't have every Jordan toy, and I do that on purpose because it's always nice to aspire to go towards something that you don't have. If I have everything, I feel like some of the joy might be taken away from it. So I always like to leave something on the hunt and available. One of my favorite Jordan toys, which I don't have here, it's in the next room, is made by a guy in Hong Kong, an artist called Michael Lau. And these are like sort of art sculptures, the 1/6, and they're sort of cartoonish sort of Jordan figurines and stuff like that. And there was only 23 sets made worldwide. There's 6 in a set, 23 in total. I've got one of those, and I think I've seen one on eBay. eBay looking to get around $9,400 US for the set. So I mean, they have certainly gone up. I think I paid 2018. I think I paid about $1,800 for the 6. So I mean, they've certainly gone up in value.
Of course.
What do you think about the Funko Pops, like the Jordan Funko Pops?
Look, I don't have any here in front of me, but I was custom making those years before they were released. Now, I'm not saying Jordan brand were watching me at all or anything, but I was ahead of the curve. What do I think about them? Look, what I'm trying to do with this is document, research, preserve, and inspire. But what I also do on the back end of things when I've got downtime and I'm not with my family, I'm up at work or whatever, is I design and create new toys yet to be made. Cutting into what you said, I almost feel sorry for whoever's in charge, because when I get there, they might not be certainly holding that title, because I can see the growth of the toys and the legacy being made as opposed to just being thrown into something that I consider to be, dare I say, cheap or non-engaging and non-inspiring to me. It's just, do you know what I mean? Like I think there's so much more that could be done, and I guess I'm through passion and through what I have as a collective, I'm able to see what's still to be done. And this is the only functioning Michael Jordan toy to still exist. All the rest, your Enterbays, your Funko Pops, let's call them dust collectors. They sit on a shelf. They just don't do anything. This is you can actually engage with. So to reinvent this would be something I've worked on. If you can't get the rights to actually re-release this exact one, there are other ways of doing it, and stuff like that. So Funko Pops to me are good, but there's a lot more to be done and tied in with the legacy. And I think that's an underappreciated and undervalued part of the Jordan legacy. And I say this is before the billions of dollars and before the boardroom. And if you remember the start of Space Jam, the movie, what it's really essentially about, and the core of Jordan is a boy with a ball, a hoop, and a dream. It wasn't the shoes, it wasn't anything else. And to recreate that essence of that is the toys. It's a boy with a ball, a hoop, and a dream. You can recreate and reimagine Jordan through his toys, I believe, more so than his shoes. The shoes are far more profitable and add to the bank balance. But if you're going to talk about future generations, storytelling, engaging children at a young age, it's through his toys. And that's why I preserve and document that, is because it's the art of play. That's what this is essentially about. It's telling his legacy through his toys, which is inspired and gone through generations of children. I have a photo here of Marcus and Jeff when they were young in the Rare Air book. You remember that book? Yeah. So
I have one of those. I got a Rare Air book.
So this is the larger version.
Mm.
If you remember this image, I think this is going to tell a lot. That's Jordan's boys playing basketball on one of their dad's hoops. Now, if you want to connect to Jordan emotionally, you show him that picture. I think the image of his children, because I've only got a young daughter, but I imagine as your children grow up, despite how there you go. That's it. What a great book.
Yours is in much better shape than mine, but
I don't know. Mine's a bit rough, but I mean,
I don't know about that. Mine is a little roughy, but like the pictures, the pictures in here are like real.
Man,
like, did you get that the Isoline book?
Not yet. I've looked at it. I've certainly looked at it.
Well, that's definitely one that you want to get.
Yeah.
Because the pictures
I don't think I'll pay the top premium price for that one. I'll just get the cheaper version.
That's the one I got. I didn't get the. No, I didn't. I'm not spending $1,000. You know, but that book is like this. See like this picture right here.
Yep.
You know, it's that book right there is like this book on steroids.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You know,
well, for us back then, this was it, wasn't it? You know, like universally, you know, here I am in a different country, but having that same experience and stuff like that. So where I was going with this, you know, with Scotty with his hand on his head like that.
Yeah. Pictures in here are amazing.
Yeah. So I'd like to connect Jordan with his toys, as you can say, through his children. They've done that. There was a post not long ago by his oldest daughter, Jasmine, and she posted a picture online. I don't have it. It's on my phone of her son, Rakeem, playing on a vintage Jordan hoop, doing the similar moves. So we're talking about multi-generations now.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just passing down from generation to generation.
It is. The greatest thing about that, and I'll tell Michael this, is that toy hoop that he's playing on came from my collection indirectly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I have proof of how his toys can cross generations within his own family and be the catalyst to inspire. You know what I mean? Like there was a great ad Ohio Art did in the early days, and it's based on the Jordan 2 ad. And it starts off by saying, you can wear Michael Jordan's shoes, you can wear Michael Jordan's clothes, but if you want to feel like Michael Jordan, you have to jam Michael Jordan. And it's a toy ad. It's a boy dunking. And I'm like, that's it. Like that's the concept of what I'm doing. It's not the shoes, it's not the clothes, it's the ability, like I did back in the day, to play on a toy hoop, which gives you such inspiration, motivation, creates nostalgia, creates that much so that I bought that back 2 decades later. Do you know what I mean? Like that memory associated with that toy and these products allows me to, well, as I said, I go to my former high school. I've been invited the last couple of years. I give a talk to 150 students at a time and talk about motivation, passion, basically obsession, this has become, and following your own path and journey. So I'm very fortunate to do that.
Yeah, I've been seeing you doing a lot of stuff like that, you know, throughout your community down in Perth, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Perth.
There is a sneaker event coming up next week. I won't be here. Allen Iverson's coming. I thought, what a great opportunity. But
oh, nice.
It's not. It just the timing wasn't right. The timing I need to have off for that, I'm going to use towards going to America. It had to be one or the other. And weighing it up, like, look, I could have 5-10 minutes with Allen Iverson. It might not go to anything. I would rather utilize that time to go to America to meet people like yourselves and Aaron and whoever. Or if I'm not invited, I'm still going. I'm still going to probably meet you guys, whoever. Do you know what I mean? Like that to me is far more valuable than just a few moments with Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
It'd still be nice to meet Allen Iverson, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure. But if I can reconnect with H and have some time with him, I'll put that in the box. A few up the line.
You're right. You're right.
No disrespect to AI, but H is, he's
The man.
H is amazing.
The man.
He's the man. He's the man.
Yeah.
So, is there a piece out there that just eludes you? Like every time, it's like something you're looking for that, like, man, I need this, but it's just hard to find.
There is, and I've been very fortunate because it's going to be coming. Brian Flynn, the owner of Super 7, he used to work for Nike back in the day. And when the Air Jordan 22 came out, the City Pack, he, through his contacts at Nike and Super 7, designed these cat stealth light figurines in different colors. And one was for, I want to say, Chris Paul, Carmelo. I'm missing a few other people. But they were the figurines that went with the City Pack of the shoes. And one of those was a dark grey or a black in reference to Michael Jordan. They were extremely hard to get because they were only limited. The black stealth cat, which was MJ, made for MJ, but there was probably about 100, if I'm correct. Because I ended up having a conversation a few months ago with Brian privately. And I showed him that because I was interested in Team Jordan figurines. And through my research, I found that these were the only ones ever created back in the day. And they were released at NBA All-Star event and something like that. And I got the set of 5, but I've been missing the black one, the Jordan one. So when I'm talking to Brian and showing him this and that, and I sent Mr. Flynn one of these because he worked at Nike plus the magazine, and he posted and shared that, which was great. Thank you, Mr. Flynn. And he said to me, he goes, Josh, I've got an archive room full of stuff. He goes, I know I've got some of those black figurines. So I mentioned how hard it was. I saw one years ago, didn't buy it, missed the opportunity. And I told him, I said, I really need that for my collection. I don't know. I've been looking at eBay. He's like, I've got a couple. He goes, but these were so limited. MJ got a whole heap of them for himself. He goes, but I know I've got a couple. I'll dig them out. I'm going to send you one. So that answers your question. That you can't find. I've been looking for those on eBay for years ever since. And when I had that conversation with Mr. Flynn and he stated that, man, that made I'm smiling now just thinking about it. Like, that really made me.
You said it's on the way.
It's on the way. He's digging them out of his crate along with some other awesome Nike Jordan merchandise because he did some pretty cool stuff back in the day, and thankfully still has a relationship. So it's like, man, to have a conversation, and then next minute, as you said, something you've been looking for and trying to pursue and find, literally just is going to be given, handed. Oh man, that's so cool because they are limited, and he knew that. Again, this is not for resale. This is for my personal collection.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So,
man, you got to tag us once you get that, man. Once you post it,
for sure.
You got to tag us on that one, man. Let us
absolutely.
check it out.
And I certainly don't put any pressure on him. Like, he's a busy man as well. He's running a toy company. It's the new year. It's definitely going to come, and I'll just send a reminder in due time. But what a gift that is, because that answers your question, and that's truly something I've been looking for, haven't been able to find, and now just through conversation and communication, it's
and you saying it's a like a set of 5 or 6?
So there was 5, the City Pack, and I can't. There's all I can remember is Detroit. I don't know if it's
that was Rip Hamilton.
Thank you, Rip, Carmelo, CP3, Ray Allen, and I'm missing somebody else off the top of my head. There's one more. It's of the
Dwayne Wade.
Air Jordan 222 City Pack. I'm missing someone. But there was 5 of these Stealth Cat figures, and then you're lucky to get the 6th one. But again, the bulk of those went to MJ himself, the Black Cat himself. And Brian knows he's got a few in his, because he, obviously being the owner and the creator, he got a couple. And he said to me, Josh, I got you. It's coming. I'm like, oh, man, I know how hard that is to get. You know what I mean? So that's like, that's
hey man, you lit up like a kid at Christmas when I asked you that question.
Yeah, I still do now thinking about it, because we're talking about a CEO of a toy company. I just reached out to him. I said, listen, this is who I am. I research, I document. I'm interested to know more about these because I've learned these are the only Team Jordan figurines, which I still find fascinating because
Mm-hmm.
when I talk about toys to still be designed and made, we'll go under the umbrella of Jordan brand as well as Team Jordan and Jordan himself. So that now filtrates out. It's not just Jordan toys and figurines. There's so much more to be done. And when I learned that, he said, look, I'm happy to have an hour-long conversation with you. Wow, wonderful. Showed him, told him what I knew. He was blown away and said to me, he goes, I've got you. I've got that one that you've been looking for. I've got it. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. And I'm like, no, it's very rare that I receive anything. I always like to bless other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when it comes back, it's like, oh, thank you so much.
Come back tenfold, man.
Man,
Like come back tenfold.
And they know it's not to be sold. This stays with me. Do you know what I mean? Like it's wonderful. So I feel very blessed.
So I don't know if anybody asked you this before. Is there another person that you know of, or may not know of, that is a historian of MJ toys such as yourself?
Non-existent. I've been doing this 11 years. There's not even I don't want to say a number 2 because that's disrespectful. There's nobody even doing that. That's why I carved my lane, because I before I came out and announced who I am, this is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I was laying back. I was building up my collection.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking to see who to either emulate or to gather information from. And I discovered that there was nobody. And I am an introvert. I use this analogy a lot. I always wanted to be like Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters. From Nirvana. I wanted to be in the back. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to be the front man. And then I had to become Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters. I had to be the front man.
Right.
So I had to make that transition. And that wasn't, I guess, at that time enjoyable because, as I said, I am an introvert. I don't like being the front man. But these toys don't talk. So somebody's got to do it. So when I discovered quite early on that nobody was doing it, I made sure I had enough documents, enough product, enough sort of base knowledge to boldly come out and say, I am him. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is my divine assignment. You know what I mean? No, this truly is. I feel like I've been put on this journey. This is a God-given journey because I've had a vision of where I'll end up. And I always say this: God shows you the destination, not the journey. Because if He showed you the journey, if He was to tell me you've got to go through 11 years up, down, hardship to get there, you wouldn't do it. But if He shows you the destination, which is so exciting, that's what keeps you on track to pursue and to become, I guess, obsessed to the point, as I say, I'm delusionally optimistic of where I'm going to end up.
No, that's right.
Okay,
that's true.
So no, there isn't anybody else I know of. I'd certainly get a lot of emails and questions about what's this, maybe what's that card worth, what's this memorabilia worth.
Right.
Look, I am an expert, I guess, in a certain part of the field. Even the valuation, I can't independently value these because, one, I'm seen as biased because I'm emotionally attached and invested in this by far. I could put a price on it, but the whole part of that journey is to get it independently valued. And there's a guy in America who I've been pursuing for years. His name's Jordan Hembrow, the toy hunter. Who had that TV show. He's got a shop in New Jersey, and I
used to watch his show. He would find all kind of vintage toys and stuff like that. You ever seen that guy, Black? He got Oh, you would probably love that show, Black.
Yeah,
man. When I tell you, like some of the stuff that he finds, it's like it's crazy.
What's the name of the show?
Toy Hunter. It was on Discovery.
Toy Hunter.
Yeah,
I type it in.
It's almost kind of like American Pickers with
American
with
Pickers. That's right.
It's almost kind of like that, but with toys. You know what I mean?
But
they're not in barns or anything. He just gets a lead to people, and he's going to their house, and they're showing him all these kind of like rare toys, and it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Toy Hunter.
And that's who I've been trying to get to value this toy independently, because one, he's not seen as biased, and two, he has a reputable name in the industry. So that's, I guess, part of my ongoing journey and pursuit is to have these independently valued. I believe this one, where is it? The one with the white chest and the back ticks, will be worth the most. because of the flaws, because of the rarity,
factory
because of the
flaws,
history
right.
and significance. Do you know what I mean? Like that might be a $50,000-$60,000 US toy right there. But again, it's not for, I don't do, and if you've heard me talk for the last, how long have we been on here? I don't talk about money. It's not about how much I can get for it or even what it's.
Now I can definitely tell it's the passion.
Yeah, man. Like, thank you. I
It's
appreciate
just
that.
like it's just like, you know, a lot of our peers talk about the hunt. You know, that's basically what it sounds like for you. You're just hunting for something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your hunt is in a different lane versus, you know, what has become, I don't know if I want to say watered down or it's almost like the thing to do now is to hunt for the shoes. And now people are just trying to find the most rare shoe that they can find. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. You're in a totally different lane. Like you said, you're pretty much in a lane by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You made
he created that lane.
Yeah, I was going to say he made his own lane.
Yes.
So
And
hold on 1 second. Red, we started at about 7:10, the same time we always start, bro.
Late ass. Late ass.
I know.
So I've always have that personality of a lone wolf and sort of I always tread the ground that's less ventured, you know what I mean? Like, so that I've inherently always been that way. When I found out this was, I guess, open for me, I embraced it wholeheartedly. As I said, like I became Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters. I stepped into it and owned it. And as I said, like I have my own shirts. I have great relationships with people from Jordan Brand. As I said, Howard, some designers, obviously Mark Smith, Aaron, but also Taboo. So recently Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas was on a YouTube show talking about toys, and she gave me a shout out because I sent him one of these. So I've only got 3 of these. 2 are in mint condition, which is what I got. His is it was open, but it was unused and in slightly more wearable. But he didn't have to, but he shouted me out. So I've got connections with Taboo, Vinny from Naughty by Nature, and almost this time last year I got to meet Fat Joe and hang out with him backstage. And Fat Joe got one of those toys. And to me, look, I can only speak on what I saw and what I know. Very gracious, very humble. And him and I connected, and I knew this would be a great introduction to Icebreaker, was to talk about Jumpman Bostic and sneakers. And we did that. And I explained to him that I'd been to Detroit and met Mark, and he was very inquisitive to go, what's it like? You know, and I've seen photos. I said, well, it's what you could imagine. Like, I mean, I know Joe's got a great collection, but I said, for me, to walk into that basement, I've never seen anything like it. And we were backstage, and he's introducing me to Akon and Ludacris. This is the Michael Jordan toy guy, and I'm like, come on, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's my introduction. And then we go further back up to sit in his room, and one of the guys from the Terror Squad, I can't remember who it was because it was me, Joe, and Rich, his manager. And shout out to Rich because Rich and Mayor hooked me up with those guys. So shout out to Mayor. This guy from Terror Squad said to me, he goes, you know what you've done right? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm just me and whatever. He goes, you didn't come in here saying, Joe, you're my favorite rapper, this or that. And I said, well, no offense. That's a lie for starters. Joe, you're not my favorite rapper. Tretch from Naughty by Nature. But second of all, he goes, you
say Tretch is your favorite rapper?
Yeah, Tretch is by far.
That's not a bad choice.
That's before Eminem announced it too. Like I've loved Naughty by Nature since '93, I think. So to have that relationship with Vinny years later is amazing.
Nice.
But this guy said to me, you came at Joe talking about sneakers. I said, well, I know that's how I got here. It's because of mutual friends through sneakers. You know what I mean? Like, so Joe was very humble, very gracious. They all were. I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting backstage, the only Aussie, sitting backstage with these guys. And as I'm talking to the manager, Rich, for some time, Joe's behind me holding court, telling stories, which would go on to be on the Joe and Jada show. So I'm sitting there listening to all these stories behind me going, he just doesn't stop. He's got stories for days. He'd be great on a podcast.
Does, bro. Yeah.
Fast forward months later, him and Jada are now on this podcast, and he's telling these stories. And it's just amazing. You know what I mean? So through Michael Jordan collecting and what I do, it crosses cultures, barriers, everything like MJ does. And I feel very privileged to be a part of that, I guess, and to tell part of his legacy and his story, which again to me is underappreciated. So I have a big journey and step ahead of me still.
Nice. You got any more questions? Hop? I got a couple more.
I was gonna. What is the end game?
That was one of them.
In
that was one of them.
In your journey. Well, I know you said you wanted to, come out to the gathering. That's one of the things that you said you wanted to do.
It's a step towards. It's a step towards.
Yeah. But like, what do you ever see yourself maybe stopping the hunt? Would it be after you get that toy that you say keeps eluding you?
No.
Or is there well, let me ask you this. Do you keep finding different toys or different Jordan toys that you're like, oh wow, I never knew this existed?
I'm not so shocked anymore because I've got my finger on the pulse. I've had done for a decade. The end game is so much bigger than that. Like it's, as I said, God gave me a vision. I've held on to it and I've stepped into it and I've understood it more and more as time's gone on. The end game is to really be employed by Jordan, to work for Jordan as part of the legacy. It's through either museum and educating through the toys, which I'm doing on my own for free at the moment, but to be employed to design and research and implement new toys that are yet to be made, and to look, if I can, to be a global cultural ambassador for his toy legacy. Because I think storytelling through his toys is, again, undervalued and underappreciated. Because from what I've been told, Michael believes toys to be kids. He just sees it as a kid's thing. The toy adult market has risen dramatically. But it's not just that. It's the importance. If you're going to tell your story after you've long left this planet, the best way to engage, and I use this analogy all the time, is if you have a room with 2 tables, one with shoes, one with toys, and you get young kids, I don't know, let's say 3 to 8 years old, all right? Because that time frame in imagination in this 3 to 8 year olds in a room of toys and shoes, where do you think they're going to gravitate towards?
The toys.
So to introduce future legacies, future generations to your legacy, it will be through the act of and the art of playing, which is what I'm saying is so undervalued and misunderstood by him himself.
Well, I don't know. You might have to have him on a tablet nowadays, because all these kids know nowadays is phones and tablets.
Well, I think the simplicity of just a boy, a hoop, and a ball and a dream will always forever be there. Like that's if you know what I mean? Like
no, you're right, because some of these younger kids, like when you give them stuff for Christmas, they're more interested in playing with the boxes. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, the packaging itself, it tells. That's why I preserve it. That's storytelling in itself. This is what was available then. You know, I mean, if you look at MJ, and I'll just give you a close up. He got that head of hair.
Oh yeah, that's young Mike.
That's young Michael.
That's young Michael. You know what I mean? So to me, the end game is a conversation. It's an awakening. I feel like, again, 8.4 billion people on this earth, and I've been placed front and center to understand and to have that moment. As I said, I have a life-size MJ.
I was going to say, can you put the camera over that way just real quick and show the people that you have? I never knew they had anything like that. Like, where did you find that? And how crazy did you look carrying that thing inside?
I carry that thing around with me when I do toy shows, displays, exhibitions and stuff. He comes apart at the waist and the arms come off.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, because
that's like an actual mannequin. Yeah.
And it's like, everyone goes, is that how tall he is? I said, well, life size is life size. It's 6'6". That's how massive it is. I found that on eBay.
I was gonna say, where did you find it? And are there any more of those out there like that?
There may be. I don't think there's any in Australia though. This is certainly I have not. If there is, somebody's keeping it quiet. I have not seen anywhere another one. I bought this from the Philippines.
Do you ever put the hoop above his head and say, I dunked on Mike?
I should do, because that hoop goes to 7 foot, so I could literally just.
You got to get somebody to take the picture, man. You got to get somebody to take that picture.
I mean, I've gone on record and said I would love to trash talk and play Michael on his own toy hoop with his toy and beat him in a game of horse on his actual toy hoop set. I believe I'm that confident.
You might not. Hey, if that was to happen, you might not ever see him again, man. I'm just saying, just don't take your chances.
Well, you know how competitive he is too. So.
That's why I said that. That's
why I want to take Mike on. I want that smoke. I'm confident enough I will beat him, and I would love that opportunity to give him that, because I don't think anybody else would probably have offered him that challenge on his very own toy hoop set. You know what I mean? So I think that's good. You're talking about the end game.
Make up a story about you. He'll make up a story about you to get himself mad in his head.
Well, it's funny you say that, because to do what I do, I don't know if emulate's the right word, but I've sort of brought on that same confidence and attitude as well, like winning at all costs. I take things personally and I use that as fuel to get to where I want to go to. So I certainly have some of those characteristics. I'd love to trash talk him. But you're talking about the end goal. So I have this statue which I speak to, because I've said to you before, I'm slightly shorter. The only thing that will intimidate me is the height. So I've been used to now talking to this statue for at least a decade in preparation for that. So the end goal would be.
Oh, you had it that long?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So I'm well rehearsed. I'm educated. It's all up here too. I don't need documents to support what I'm saying. I mean, we can start off by saying, pull out your phone. There's 5 people in your phone who could call you and tell you about who I am before I even start talking. That, to me, shows I've had some sort of impact and reach already around his circle. Do you know what I mean? So that's
nice.
To him must be, again, when you find out I'm from Perth, Luke Longley, remote city in the world, and to have that reach, there's got to be some sort of respect shown for being able to do that, because I have no PR, no marketing. This is a solo effort. And it's something that I enjoy, and I call it divine alignment, because when I look back over the years what has transpired, I wouldn't have been able to fathom all these wonderful things, even this opportunity right now to have had to. And again, my Instagram is a working resume. If you go back and look at it from 2019, from where it started, Sneaker Freaker magazine, to all the media exposure and stuff that it's done, and the relationships I've encountered since, it's nothing but, to me, even me who's lived it, quite just a joyous experience. You know what I mean? I never would have imagined any of this would have happened. But tail back forward, the end goal, working with Michael, inspiring the youth. I will talk about something that's close to my heart, is always giving back. I've been invited either later this month or next month to attend Perth Children's Hospital here in Perth through a program called Radio Lollipop, and it's for sick, disadvantaged, and terminally ill children. So they've invited me, because they've seen my collection, to come and speak to the kids there. And I guess his legacy is one of inspiration and worldwide. So I feel very blessed that part of what I do is always about inspiring the youth, and that's something that the Jordan brand is very heavily focused on as well, is giving back, community, and especially youth-based as well. So I'm very fortunate to be in that circumstance, whereas that and my high school as well. And my next goal is to go back to my primary school, which is not far from where I live, and I want to do the same for them as well. So
that's amazing, man.
Yeah, thank you. I get a lot of joy and pride out of being able to tell my story through his toys, and to try to reach the younger generations, for them to see that whatever it is you wish to pursue, it's possible. And I guess for me, I always get asked this: have I met Michael? Look, the closest I've got is obviously Howard and Marcus, but there only seems to be some validation in all of it if I get there. Do you know what I mean? So imagine that happens, the credibility goes up further, and then the connectivity between me and the audience, or whoever it is I'm talking to, will only then sort of, as I said, validate your journey. Even though I'm 11 years in and I've done quite a lot, that meeting with Michael means so much more, because then that shows a moment that not all people have.
Now he owns, he's part of a racing team and he's fishing. So you say you make toys, you got to put Jordan in a NASCAR.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, remote control. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick. I've done my research. We've got things. They're just sitting in a book, like like Tinker, like sketches and stuff. They're just sitting there waiting for that moment when I get to sit down with him and he says, "Okay, this is what you want to do. Whatever you got." Well, I can't give you all the game for free, but I'll show you a few things that will interest you, and then from there we will just take it on, because those pop Funkos and stuff, they're not. It's very to me it seems very just cheap in thought in everything. I want to see more interactive. I want to see more storytelling. I want to see more historical. Like there's so many things. MJ's well known for some outfits as well outside of the game of basketball. You know what I mean? Like I think to have those that you can.
You're gonna put him in the Mary J. Blige boots.
Yeah. Like that jacket from Saturday Night Live, and those pants with the high waists and the suits, all that sort of stuff would be pretty cool to have.
Yeah, you got to have the hoop earring too.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, like the Funko Pops, I think sometimes like I think the Funko Pops to me was more about him with like the shoes on, or like maybe showcasing like a moment, like him with the Jordan 1s. Like they got one now. I saw one where what they recreated the free throw line dunk. The Funko
Jumpman got that one.
Do what?
Jumpman Bustic's got that one in his.
Yeah. Shout out to Jumpman.
Yeah, shout out to Mark, because Mark, look, we haven't even spoken about Yous with the Portland 8 yet. Like, what a great story that, and I hope you tell a bit of it. But Mark is a great guy I've known for years, and again, I was very fortunate to not only add stuff to his collection, but to be invited and to go there. And that's the only reason I went to Detroit. So I went from Ohio to Detroit to Chicago. The only reason we jumped into Detroit, and it was on my wedding anniversary of all day, so I wasn't even in the good books to begin with, was to meet Mark. I wanted to meet the man, but I also wanted to be immersed in that wonderful collection. I still haven't seen anything like it personally to this day.
Hanging out with him. Yeah, I was gonna say, hanging out with him and just hanging out with him those few days that we was in Portland, man. He's got a good heart. He's a good person.
Definitely.
And the main thing that he was saying while we was there, he was like, man, I just want to make this memorable for you guys. It wasn't about about him. You know what I mean? And to me, that just like me and Black, we talk to him occasionally. I just reach out and just check on him and stuff like that. So yeah, he's definitely a good person, and definitely that's an experience that I'll never forget. Just hanging out with all of us, to be honest with you, because it was just one of those things where it was just like nobody was about themselves. We were just all trying to make sure that the group was taken care of, and that we had a good time. And at one point we didn't know how it was going to turn out at first, but everything turned out perfect, man. And ended up, like I said, getting to meet H that day, and
amazing.
And we got to go in other places, more places that we wasn't able to get to
at the
gathering. But that's kind of understandable, because the gathering was a bigger crowd.
Yeah, it was a large group, man. Like, it was some spots we just really couldn't get in because of the size of the group.
Right.
I was watching the video of that on your pages, and it seemed like a lot of people in a small room. Now, I don't know. It seemed like there was a few rooms. Obviously, one was with all the sneakers. I saw that, and then there was another room. I don't know how it worked, but there was another room with Wilson was talking.
Yeah, that was like
a different day.
Yeah, they had like events lined up for us, which, man, that trip right there in itself was amazing. Talking to the different designers, you got to meet a bunch of different designers that you never thought that you would meet, and just everybody was just in a space and just conversating, and nobody thought they was bigger than anybody. The guys that put it together were amazing. Coop was amazing. Meeting Tinker was amazing. Wilson going through what's giving it. Wilson just put on like a
presentation, man.
There
like,
you go.
We weren't expecting it because that night that was supposed to be for him, but for him to turn around and give a presentation to us, that was
His
probably
history.
one of the best gifts that we got. As far
and as you say, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, just to say, to pay that donation fee, like you mentioned, was well worth the money to have that opportunity.
It was because we did a lot of things, man. And you know, the guys that put on the gathering, shout out to them guys, man. They had everything pretty much. They had a nice itinerary for us, so it was no dull moments from the moment you got off that plane to the hotel room. From the moment you got back on your plane, it was no dull moments. You always had something to do. It wasn't like no big gap in between. You maybe had like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours tops to yourself. And that's to kind of talk to other folks that's coming along with you on this journey. And then we go back to the next event. So it was a nonstop thing, man. Like it wasn't long enough, but it was long enough. Yeah. If that makes sense.
And it was great to see Aaron on with you guys. As I said, I was listening to it while I was working, but to hear him ask yous for ideas and stuff like that. But it shows you that Aaron's an empath, which means he puts himself in other people's shoes to see things through their eyes. And that's in itself telling enough of who Aaron is as a person, because it shows you that he's very thoughtful and mindful of how people interact, but also how the experience is for others, not just for himself.
But being totally honest, a few of the designers that we met, and even H, asked us
same question.
What do we think could make Jordan Brand better, or what do we think that maybe Jordan Brand is missing? You know, we've had those those questions, and for him, and like I said, I'm not gonna name names, but you know, we had another guy ask us the same thing, but for them to ask us that question, and we're just regular people that like shoes.
We consumers, you know they're actually asking consumers these questions.
Yeah. For them it's smart of them to do that, because who better to have their sorry.
No, I was gonna say, for them to ask us that and ask our opinion, to me that was kind of like mind blowing, because it's like, wow, you want my opinion? You know, so
well, use the community, you know what I mean? You use voices. We wouldn't say, look, no disrespect, maybe not the spokespeople of everyone, but represent the community per se. So them asking you is immediate feedback. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like playing a song as a musician to a crowd, like you get that immediate response and feedback. So then you can sort of feel what might be the right direction and stuff like that. So I think that's very smart of them, being who they are, to ask you, because obviously you are going to give, I'd imagine, honest and immediate feedback, and then that they take that on board and then probably act accordingly, which is great to see. As you said, these people are well known and represented within the company, but still mindful enough to ask regular people like yourselves what could be done more or better. And that's a credit to those guys for taking on that mindset.
But
I would say this. Hold on. I would say this. When they did ask like certain questions, only thing that I felt, and I guess I can just speak for myself, that was popping in my head was, y'all need to come out with this. Y'all need to come out with this. And I don't think that they was looking for answers like that.
No.
Like per se, as far as like a certain shoe needing to come out because you want it to come out. I'm thinking that they wanting something that's concrete that they can kind of like bounce off of, say, hey, he had a great idea of, trying to do this to the brand and to push it to the forefront, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if other people that was asked that question thought the same thing that I thought at the time, because like I said, you need to bring this out. You need to bring this out. Not actually just going deep in depth with what the brand can do to reach that next level that they're trying to reach, or reach the consumers, because sometimes they probably feel like they're out of touch with consumers. So maybe they needed that.
They're looking at numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
They're looking at numbers on a piece of paper, and that's pretty much what any corporation or business looks at is numbers. The thing that they wanted to know from us is that, you know, with us, we're on the ground. We're on the ground hunting.
That's right.
And looking for stuff. So they want to know what's missing from the brand. And honestly, Black, talking to those people, everything was about a story.
Mhm.
Everything was about a story. Tell a story this way, tell a story that way. You know what I mean? Tell a story about, and some of the stories that they say was inspired, that inspired them to do certain shoes and to make certain shoes was just so simple.
Yeah. Yep.
You was like, wow, that's it's like, yeah, it's like you got from that idea, it took you to make this shoe. And it's like, that's crazy. Something so simple can inspire you to make a shoe that's so complex.
Facts.
And
you know, we, I don't mean to interrupt you, but and we thinking like, okay, this certain design, it must be like a complex thing that came up. It's just something totally simple, like Hop said.
Yeah, like
you would think that it was complex, but it's not.
Yeah, like one guy, what did old boy say inspired the color of the silver bullet? Was it the color of a bike or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and people thought it was because of a train.
It's not, and it's not the train. And the designs on the side, and the designer for that Air Max 97 is Christian Trescher. I'm sorry. And the design that he said, it came from, you know how you have like a bed of water, and then like a drop of water come down, and the wave that it makes.
Yeah,
that's where that design
That's what inspired
came from.
that silver bullet.
Yeah, right. There you go.
You know, so
and then you can see like the glare from it, like he said, to get the color of that silver.
Yeah,
just something simple like that, man. Like,
yeah, you think these designers are like so complex, and like they, and in a way they are a genius in their own right, but it's so simple that it's smart. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, talking. Now I was going to say, talking to those designers and just talking to everybody, just going out to Portland twice in a year, man, it's like some bucket list stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you. Do you think the gathering, and this has got nothing to do with me because I have no say in it, once a year is enough, or do you reckon if they could split it up twice over a year to either get more people? Or...
I think they do one in New York, and then they do one in Portland.
I think the Portland one would be the ultimate one, though, wouldn't it? I don't know what's out in New York, but I think Portland, where it's at, isn't it? Like with Nike and with all those individuals.
Yeah, it just depends on who they invite to New York. But I think that's still up in the air to know exactly how that New York would be. But we, you know, with the Portland, like you said, you know, you'll have all the in-house designers. You'll have all the spaces. You'll see a lot of PEs, you know, at certain shops up there in Portland, as you would, you know, New York. Not saying New York doesn't have stuff like that, but definitely you can see all that stuff in Portland.
Yeah, Portland is ground zero, so of course that's gonna be better in a sense, because just a observation type, because you know, being able to go to the Nike campus, this, that, and the other. But honestly, you know, going to New York and being able to chop it up with like-minded people, it probably will still be just as good. You know what I mean? But I don't think the one in New York is as big as the one in Portland. They kind of grew the one in Portland, and it might get bigger, it might not. It just depends on what the brain trust says.
Yeah.
All right.
You know,
well, as I said, it'd be nice to get an invitation to be a representation of this country itself. Would be wonderful, because I'd always use my story to go back and inspire others. So that's one thing to be mindful of. But as I said, I plan.
The main thing I can say, and I can tell you this from experience: just be yourself.
Oh, for sure,
man.
If you get invited, then you get invited. You know what I'm saying? But just be yourself. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if it happens, it happens. That's the only thing I can say. I never thought that we would have got invited out there. But
At all.
you know, salute
It
to
was a blessing, man.
them
Mm.
guys. You know what I'm saying, for recognizing or seeing something in us that made them want to invite us out there, because it was truly an honor. It was flattering at the same time, because it's just like, man, we don't have a big following. You know,
Nope.
we just talk about what we like and what we love and what we grew up on. But on the same note, we try to be the same person on and off camera. You know,
And then to follow it up with the Portland, I mean, as I said, what a great experience. You know, it's 2 times.
same thing with Jumpman.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Jumpman. You know, just being ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, for him to mention our name once again, an honor and a privilege, man. Because never in our wildest days, it's like, man, both of these trips, they could have invited whoever they wanted.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
for them to just say, "Hey, do you guys want to come?" Of course.
Yeah, you know
absolutely.
damn well I want to come.
Yeah. Ready?
So,
it's like lightning struck twice for us, man.
Yeah, that's how I came across as well, through your posts and through your conversations and stuff. And that's why I wanted to share that with you. That it came through as that. So
truly was a blessing, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
man. You didn't, Tinker, Wilson, and H. What an ultimate trifecta.
I mean, but it was honestly, bro, it was more than that. Like I said, Black had a good conversation with Christian Tresser. I mean, we talked to designers that helped design Agassiz and tennis shoes, and this one guy, he was I can't think of that guy's name. He was telling us about how they was designing tennis shoes and how they implemented the air in the tennis shoes, the air bubble in the tennis shoes. You know what I mean? And he's just a random guy, just came up, just started talking to us. Talking about designers. One guy, he designed the Jumpman Jordan on the 11s that goes across the tongue.
Okay, yeah.
So it was just like a culmination of all that. It wasn't, of course, those are the big names, but just being in the room with all those guys and just them guys just telling stories, and for them to be in tune with what we're talking about and what we're doing, it was just like what Sneaker Queen says, it's shoe nerd stuff. That's shoe nerd
That's
stuff.
it.
We nerded out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We nerded out, like, for real. What's up, E-Double? But like I said, that I can't really express enough gratitude for those trips. And honestly, bro, hopefully you'll be able to make one of them. Hopefully you get the invite. And hopefully everything
I'll
will work
happily
out.
fly that long distance. That's how I'm coming regardless. Like, I already made that decision in my mind. It's
you crashing the party. You crashing the party recording.
I get that official invitation, or I'm just there, because I can't stop you from going to Nike. Anyway, I've got friends that work in Nike and Jordan Brand and stuff. So look, if it's only to see them, that's still a great trip. But the intention is to meet yourselves and the others, and to be a part of it. Because I said, because Australia needs a representation or represented.
Mm-hmm.
Who better than somebody who has a storytelling piece like that? You know what I mean? Like that alone should hopefully get me my foot in the door and the ticket. But to come back and then tell that story to the youth who I work with here, you don't know what sort of effect that has. And the reason why I do that is when I was in high school, and I remember this clearly, that same process of a former student coming back existed. And the guy who I had was an accountant. And I remember being bored out of my brain and praying, like, God, give me a great story that I can come back and talk and do something more inspiring than this poor gentleman's talking about right now. You know what I mean? Because I was lost in 5 minutes. And look, it's wonderful. I get to turn up with the statue, these Jordan things. The youth still know who Michael Jordan is. And for them to hear my story, you always think, look, again, it's always if you reach one and you're able to do something. So I did some giveaways as part of MJ trivia for my speech. And part of it was 5 giveaways. I bought Howard's book, Believe to Achieve, and gave that to them. I messaged Howard to say what I'm doing because there was 150 students. So I'm like, okay, well, 5 people will get books and a Jordan toy, but the other 145, I still want to be able to reach and let them leave with something. So I made these wristbands, and if you can see that, Believe to Achieve. And I wear that because on that day I gifted all of them one of them, and what it's inherently saying is that even if your idea and passion or whatever it is as crazy as mine, to think that I'm going to reach MJ and do all this, and nobody believes in you because a lot of my family, friends, partners didn't see what I saw. Let this be a representation that I believe in you and your dream. And so I left them with one of those. These glow in the dark as well. So it's to show that your dreams exist in day and night. Do you know what I mean? So let it shine bright, and I'll wear this.
You shine in the day and the nighttime.
Yeah, man. And I'll wear this for that kid that's delusionally optimistic about his passion. So when I work and I look at this, I'm in the desert in the middle of nowhere, this is a reminder that 1, I'm on course, but 2, hopefully one of those young boys is believing or starting to manifest and pursue something. And maybe he's wearing that going, I wonder if, nobody believes me. I wonder if Josh, and that's what that's about. You know what I mean? So I sent that to H just to say, look, on the other side of the world, years later, your book is having an influence and it's inspiring the youth to pursue and the power of believing in what you wish to achieve as well. So he was very grateful. And again, he doesn't have to write back to me. He doesn't have to acknowledge my messages, but he does. And
but he did, man. And that's the best thing apart about it is that he actually reached back. He took the time out of his day to reach back and contact you, man. So I got one more question, man. One more question. What's a piece in your museum that you curated that if the house burned down outside of the what is that, 86?
You're saying part of my collection. That is that's I'm taking this.
I was like, yeah, that's it. I already knew that. Answer.
I'm taking this.
You know he ain't taking the 6'6" Michael Jordan.
No, he's staying. He's burning. I'm sorry, Mike. You're staying. Just to lug him around the house is
I know.
I can imagine. It doesn't weigh too much, but carrying a bloke that big, I mean, it must be funny. If I had a home video like surveillance and you could see me just travel through the house with this guy, it'd be a joke. Look, it'd have to be that. It has to be. One, why? Because of what it's done, which is get out to the universe. It unearthed a story. If you can find anything to do with Michael Jordan, that's the first and unearthed. The rarity of that, you know what I mean, alone is amazing, especially because most things about Michael Jordan have been discovered. This toy existed in America for 3 decades, and it took me, with the drive and the ambition to get the answers, the determination to speak to the toy company, to travel to the toy company, to come back, and then for it to get the exposure that it has, and to have that one photograph with H himself, is the reason why I choose that toy every time. I could get rid of my whole collection. If I only had that toy left, to me, that is still the greatest storytelling, one of the greatest pieces. Do you know what I mean? It's so much more than a piece of plastic, which is what it is. It's got such historical and cultural significance that I can't do anything but preserve that one more than any other. Well, and thankfully, it's nice and light, small, so I'll get out of the house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can duck that in the pocket or something and get gone.
But I'll try to grab a couple of them if I could. But here's the first one. And I've said that time and time again, because you can't replace that story, the history. It's almost impossible. You know, it's like trying to discover a new Jordan shoe that nobody knew about from his first range. Do you know what I mean? And again, I found myself in that position. And when I look back over time, it's called a divine alignment. God chose me to do this. And because he knew I was like a pit bull on a bone, I would not stop until I got answers. Do you know what I mean? Like it was my journey. It is my journey, and I feel absolutely blessed and grateful at times that I understand my path and where I'm going, and that is
no one is half the battle.
Exactly. So now I just live in constant gratitude and times like this, sharing my story with new audience, with new people I get to call friends, new people I get to meet, new audiences that will reach and hear this maybe for the first time. Even though I've been doing this 11 years, it never gets dull or faded with me. Every time I talk about it, you can see. And again, we don't ever talk about money because that is not the motivation, the drive. It's all about preservation, documenting, all that. So that to me is why I feel so grateful is that it's never financially driven.
Well, man, we can definitely see the passion that you have.
Oh yeah.
With these vintage toy pieces that you have. And I know you got plenty more that you can show. And we might have to say that one for another episode, like a part 2-ish type deal, because
I'll get off here and look around my room and go, I forgot that.
Oh man,
yeah, that's how it always is. That's how it always is.
I was so prepared, but I've missed out on so. No, it is what it is. But it just goes to show.
That leaves room for a part 2. That's exactly what that is,
and
man.
I'd love to come back.
It leaves room for a part 2. But look, man, we definitely appreciate you.
When you leave stuff out or you forget stuff, that lets you know that the conversation was good.
Yeah, exactly. Look, 2 hours flew by. At first, I thought, because I remember Aaron saying, "How long do we go into this?" It's like an hour and a half. But 2 hours in, and look, we are, to be honest, still scratching the surface. Like there are,
of course.
And that's wonderful, you know. And again, I'll post this later, but this was shown here first. The signed Mark Smith Air Force Ones limited to 2,500. And shout out to Mr. Smith if you are watching this. I've told you how grateful and appreciative I am. I'll post this later, but again, this shows the connectivity to Michael from here and how people obviously see my interest is as a pure passion, and it's not something that's going to be resold or gifted away entirely. It's
right.
It's something my daughter, I hope, will grow up to be proud of and respectful of, and say my dad was able to do.
Exactly.
We appreciate you giving us that exclusive.
Exactly.
I wasn't
expecting that, though. I wasn't expecting that.
No, that's why I wanted. Look, as again, for a guy who's known for the toys, to show a shoe, and that's what I was waiting for. Again, signed. I don't know how many of those are signed. I mean, it's got to be
probably not many. If not you being the only one.
Yeah, that's a dope piece, bro.
Man, exactly, come on. You know, I'm not known as a sneaker guy, but you can see I can pull things out every now and then. I like to hang with the cool kids, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Well, so one more question. And you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Some people do. Some people know. Some people don't. But like, what around how many pairs do you think you got?
Including the signed ones here.
Yeah, just ballpark.
And 20, and I had probably 50 when I saw Jumpman Bostic. When I came home from seeing his stuff, I sold a lot because I felt like I had way too many. Now, that's not anything negative towards Jumpman because that's his passion. I felt like I had too many shoes that I didn't need. So I've got probably 5-10 wearables. I've got a pair of the every time I fly, I wear these.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously not the signed ones.
Yeah.
But I'll wear those. They're a great, comfortable plane shoe. I don't have all that many, so I want to say probably, including the signed ones and that, 20. But the only one I've doubled up on.
Grapes, yeah.
No,
you ain't wrong.
With that Nike on the ass.
I wear this pair. And I wore these pair when I met LeVar Ball last year, and then I've got another size just sitting on ice because I remember that feeling, and I'm that kid looking at that shoe on the plane for the first time again. And
absolutely.
It's definitely double up worthy. I think I bought 3 pairs, to be honest. But yeah.
And what I haven't even touched on is in Australia, we don't get the range or a lot of the products that you get. So for me to walk into a Nike shop here in my local shopping center with no line, no queue, and to buy one off the shelf that's an experience that you probably get a lot of the time. For us, rare.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's only been recent.
Yeah.
Only been recent, my friend.
Well, I certainly was grateful for that experience to walk in, buy it off the shelf, walk out with it, and it was like, this is what it must have been like either in America or back in the day when you wanted to be able to get something. Because here we're lucky to get sort of maybe half the stuff that's announced.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, thank you. I'm very limited with my shoes, but those that I do have, as you can see, a lot of the signed ones I keep, and for me, it's about passing on to my daughter when the time comes.
Absolutely, man. About the kids, man. You
Yeah,
got anything else out?
No, brother. I think I've touched on what I wanted to touch on. Like we right at a 2-hour mark.
Yeah. Shout out to I haven't seen any of the people in the chat, but shout out to everyone who was in and commenting and stuff. And I've obviously let a lot of my people here know I was on today with you guys, so hopefully they've tuned in.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate that, man.
As well.
So definitely appreciate you coming on.
Let everybody know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, certainly. So on Instagram, Joshua.Devaney. My profile is private. But if you certainly send a friend request, I'll give you a follow and check out all my stuff. It's some pretty cool posts.
Well, we definitely appreciate you for coming on, man, and showing us a little taste of what you got. Hopefully, once we cross paths again and do this part 2, you can be like, man, you know what? I forgot to show this right here. Let me go ahead and show y'all this and get it out the way, that type thing. So definitely thank you for gracing our platform, man, with your passion.
Thank you very much.
No problem, man. Appreciate you.
And if and hopefully all going well, we'll meet up in Portland towards the end of the year as
Absolutely.
well. So, first round of drinks are on me as well, so just put that on.
Okay.
We'll hold you to that too.
Maybe even first 2. I'm very appreciative of your time, so thank you.
No, like I said, we appreciate you, man, for reaching out. You know what I'm saying, and once again, wanting to come on and share your story, man. We appreciate it, man. This is a good way to kick the new year off for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we really appreciate you coming on and sharing, your passion with us, because we can definitely see it,
that's one of the greatest compliments I could ever get, is that it comes across, even though we're in different countries and stuff, the authenticity and the genuine love that I have for this. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, you represent it very well. So
very well.
Hats off to you.
Thank you
yourself. Yeah, you're in it for the passion and not the dollars. What I mean? And that in itself is big. So
thank you.
Yeah, once again, thank you for coming on. I'm Hop 18 Black. You got anything else?
Nothing, but once again, we appreciate you, Josh, for coming through and gracing us with your presence, spending some time with us, man, and telling stories. That's what it's about, man. Storytelling, the passion, the knowledge. He's a historian. We love historians. We love stories. So with that being said, man, I am Black, aka BAA. This is Retro Talk Forum, and we'll
shout
see
out to the chat.
One.
Appreciate the chat coming through and hanging out with us, man.
Yes, sir. Peace.
We're Retro Talk Forum. I'm Hot Dog 18. You can find me on IG, and I'm gonna pass it over to my brother this way.
What's good, people? It's your boy Black Ass African, aka BAA, aka Sneaker Historian, aka Marvin.
Come on through. Let's talk kick.